I'm going to throw in Mr. Bean's Christmas episode. Turkey on the head, losing his watch, and it's in his mouth when he takes it off. The ring.
Everything.
Old Bob Cratchit, played by Goofy.
Played by Goofy.
Yeah.
Goofy's not real.
I like the courtroom climax at the end when the judge makes the ridiculous ruling on Santa Claus because the bill says "In God We Trust." It's a flawless argument. Love the
I need our listeners to know Trevor is doing this on the fly.
No, this is all.
He's just like, he's pure of heart.
So usually we try and do an episode that's on the topic of our Anglican tradition. This episode being our release just before Christmas, we just kind of decided just to have fun a little bit more. And we don't talk a lot about Anglican stuff. We just talk about Christmassy things. Mm-hmm. We top 10 a Christmas list. We talk about nostalgia. We talk about foods we used to eat and still eat. So hope that's okay with you. If it's not, feel free to skip. But we had a lot of fun. So I think you'll enjoy it.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pray Tell. My name is Trevor, and beside me here is Tyler.
Hey.
We are two parishioners here at St. Matthew Anglican Church in Abbotsford, BC, and we are here to talk about the Anglican tradition and why we find it so valuable.
Yeah, we try and talk about the things that we do in church, look at them through kind of a modern lens, and sometimes we ramble on about things that don't seem related to that, and we kind of come back to it, and I don't know, it seems to work. So,
And so today we're here to talk about one of the biggest days on the church calendar, which is Christmas. And last episode we kind of did a broad overview of Advent because, as you might know, last year we did an Advent series, and we just wanted to, touch on some of the bigger themes.
Yeah, Christmas is that there's two big feast days in the church year in the Anglican Church, and in the, I think the same would be true in the Catholic Church and in the Orthodox Church, and the Lutheran for that matter. Christmas and Easter are the two big feast days. Easter's kind of the really big one, but then Christmas would be the other main one that we celebrate. Obviously, the coming of Jesus to earth and everything that goes along with that. So we spent the season of Advent preparing for that, and then we get the payoff with Christmas, and then in the season of Christmas through the 12 days.
Yeah, and last year with our Christmas episode, we talked a lot about, we talked about our Christ candle. We talked about some of the specific things that we might do on a Christmas Eve or Christmas Day service. Yeah. We're going to kind of take a bit of a step back and talk about some other big ideas that we can take into this Christmas celebration, and maybe some, fun facts about different origins of things we do at this time of the year. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Tyler, but you are excited to share a Christmas top 10 movie list.
Yes.
Ranking
our favorite Christmas movies.
Yeah. And I heard rumor of a Christmas pickle.
Yes. The producers have hinted of a Christmas pickle.
Yeah.
So, but I think first we're going to crack open our, what do we have here?
So what did you bring? Yeah.
I brought Old Yale Brewing. I think we did Old Yale before.
We have, yeah.
I think it was the coffee stout or something, or amber ale or something like that. This is the Yuzu Citrus Fruit Lager. I had this last time I went to Old Yale Brewing, and it was delightful. So the crisp undertones of our rice lager base provide the perfect canvas for the vibrant Yuzu Citrus infusion, offering a refreshingly tangy and smooth taste. Elevate your palate with each sip as the bright yuzu intertwines effortlessly with the lager's clean and smooth profile. This yuzu lager is truly revitalizing flavor sensation. Sounds good. The label looks great.
I was actually thinking that's almost hard to read.
It is,
because the yellow is so bright.
It is kind of hard to read.
But I feel like this will be a good hearkening back to those sunny, warm summer days in July and August when you were sitting outside, t-shirt, shorts in the evening after the kids are in bed.
Yes.
And you have time to put one back.
We have already cracked them.
Yes.
Let's drink them.
Yeah.
Delightful.
Mm-hmm. I haven't had that one before, and I don't really know what yuzu is. I mean, I've heard of it, but it's not like the citrus flavor that I would have expected. Like, not as tart as I would have expected, maybe. I'm not sure, but it's good. I like that. Thanks for bringing it.
Yuzu. Yuzu is a citrus fruit and plant in the family. Something uses cultivated mainly in East Asia. A tart, sour flavor and a strong scent. It tastes like a combination of lemon and grapefruit. Nice. So last year, Trevor regaled us with some St. Nicholas trivia. One particular story was particularly astonishing.
Mm-hmm.
But before we remember what that story was, St. Nicholas is and as part of the Advent season, we celebrate St. Nicholas Day.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually December 6th, I believe. At St. Matthew's, we usually have a fair during Advent. That's typically called the St. Nicholas Fair. I don't know if it's called that this year, but it's something similar, where we just have a kind of a casual time to get together, and there's usually some baked goods to buy or sell, and some crafty things, and some good food, and just nice time to get together and relax with each other. So St. Nicholas is a very real part of the church calendar for us in terms of it's a saint's day that we celebrate, and we remember the amazing man and figure that he was in the history of the church. But the story, I believe it's an apocryphal story.
Yeah, I think so.
That you brought up last year, I believed involved the pickling of a child.
I believe so. I think pickles are going to come up a few times.
Yes, the pickling of a child.
Of a child, yeah.
Sad, gruesome.
Yeah.
But the subsequent resurrection of said pickled child by St. Nicholas.
Yeah, in France. Which is odd because he lived in Turkey, modern day Turkey.
Right.
So, a little out of the way.
But by then, I mean, obviously, if you can resurrect a pickled child, you can probably teleport to France as a matter of course.
Yeah.
I'd assume.
Yeah.
I'd assume.
How else will we know?
That was, we should clip that. Can you clip it?
I think this is where you say, there will be a link up here. And then you point
Right
up,
here.
right? Anyways. Yeah, that's a good story. He's an interesting character, that one. That St. Nick. Real person.
Maybe not all stories about him were historically true. But who's to say?
Yeah, we don't know.
We do have another pickle story.
Yes.
Good segue.
Hats off. Producer Melissa informed us that there's a German tradition,
The Christmas Pickle.
the Christmas pickle, where you hide a pickle-shaped ornament in the Christmas tree.
Now, could it be an actual pickle? Or does it have to be a pickle-shaped ornament? Because in my mind, I was picturing a pickle on a hook.
I just feel like you're going to run into certain practical difficulties
Sure,
with the
but
pickles.
is it any less practical than finding or making a pickle-shaped ornament?
Well, how much detail has to go into the pickle? Does it have to have little bumps?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it's just a
Just a
cucumber.
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 And then on Christmas morning, the first person to find the Christmas pickle receives a special gift, good fortune, or, I don't think you meant to say or here, but maybe you did, or the privilege of opening the first present.
Handing the child gift pick.
I would
Right,
Do I
yeah.
want a
choose-
special gift? Good fortune. Well, and I guess it's not as
Good fortune
it
is
says
a
person, not child, to find the pickle.
Yeah. Good
True.
fortune for a
True.
child is like, they would ignore that one. That would be nothing to them. So they're going
Good
for the
fortune.
gift, opening the first gift. All the kids want to open gifts first.
I would love to see the parent elbowing their children out of the way to
Give me-
find the Christmas pickle that they probably hid. Because who else is hiding the pickle?
Yeah.
The mom.
Saint Nick.
Why would you assume?
Saint Nick.
Why would you assume that a father would be the one elbowing their children out of the way? Sexist and hurtful to men and Germans.
And Saint Nick.
and St. Nicholas. At home we have a pickle ornament. I don't know why.
Probably for this.
Because your family loves pickles.
All of my daughters love pickles.
I can't stand them. Not
Can't
a
stand-
fan.
Can't stand. I went to this is an aside. Went to Popeyes the other day, and they got their chicken sandwich for the first time.
Yeah.
The pickles were like this big. They were huge. I couldn't even, and delicious. I'm shocked.
So speaking of food, see another segue. We all have our different, food traditions and
Yes.
things we, only eat maybe at this time of year or only make. What are the things that you really especially love to eat or make in this time of year?
I've deep fried a few turkeys
Mm-hmm.
during Christmas.
Yep.
As you know,
Mm-hmm.
those are pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit out on turkey these days.
Mm.
Like, I just think there's better meat.
Mm-hmm.
If one is into meat. A few years ago, I made these jalapeno poppers with like this, it's called honey hog barbecue seasoning in like ground pork, and then like put cheese and poppers in the oven,
Mm-hmm.
wrapped them in bacon. That was a special Christmas, I'll tell you. Fond memories of that Christmas. Usually around Christmas time, my mom will make her traditional Newfoundland jigs dinner, which is a roasted chicken or turkey with a whole bunch of like root vegetables, potatoes, carrots, gravy, and puddings. Which in Newfoundland, when you call something a pudding, it's like a bread mixture. Sometimes they're sweet. Sometimes they feel like you're eating dessert with the meal, and sometimes they're tangy or tart or whatever it is. All different kinds. So that's kind of a staple that'll usually happen around the Christmas season. I love it when my wife makes Christmas dinner, but because we live close to family, that doesn't happen very often, unfortunately. But I digress. How about you?
I especially love Christmas baking more so than turkey dinner is great and all that too. But my favorite thing, and it's not even especially Christmassy, but my mom only ever made them at Christmas, lemon tarts.
Oh, yeah.
Lemon tarts with like whipped cream on top. That's like the thing I look forward to the most.
Nice.
And obviously like the shortbread and a peanut butter cookie rolled in sugar, and then there's like a Hershey's Kisses chocolate on top. Those are really good. I don't know. My mom, she makes all sorts of things. So I'm very fond of those baked goods, and I like to make some of them myself if I have time, but that's hard to do sometimes. But yeah, I really like the baking especially.
Are you fond of them because of like nostalgia?
Yes.
Like they bring you to, I don't know, simpler time or whatever it is.
Everything about Christmas for me is about nostalgia. Everything I like about it is nostalgic. So like less so now, but like as an adult or a younger adult, older teenager, it was like, what can I do to recreate the nostalgia of when I was like a 7-year-old kid at Christmas? And I have like this image in my head of what that Christmas looked like, what the tree was like, what the lights were like, the things we ate or whatever, the toys we had, or like the movies we watch, like Rudolph and Santa Claus is Coming to Town, all those classics. I do those in order to try to recreate that nostalgic sense of wonder and magic I had of Christmas as a kid. But I also just genuinely love Christmas baking as well.
Of course.
Yeah.
Do you find that does your wife also use Christmas baking or her own traditions like for nostalgic purposes? And do those nostalgic aims ever conflict?
I wouldn't say they conflict. My wife's family her parents never did anything related to Santa. Santa was not a thing.
Okay.
It was in our family. My mom especially went like to lengths to keep that dream of Santa alive as long as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So that didn't happen. Now we don't have issues or any conflict between us about with our own kids if we do that. But there are, I would say, like one of the main differences for Christmas earlier on in our marriage, I really kind of like the kind of some of the kitschy, quirky, like homemade, the only reason you have it up is because your kid brings it home from school kind of decorations or the homemade things. Whereas I think my wife's family, her mom was always like, let's make it as pretty as possible. Like just like really kind of classic.
Yes.
And I'm like, it just.
You mean white?
White lights? Come on. Who has white lights? So we had to like find a way to compromise on that, which was getting white lights.
It's interesting how compromises work sometimes. Marriage.
Yeah. So our tree, it's white lights, but we have, I don't know, like a good mix of like the nostalgic and the nice ones. I think about this regularly, even when it's not Christmas. So I've mentioned this before, but when our house flooded a few years ago, we lost a lot of our Christmas decorations. And some of the ones that we lost were ones I had since I was like a little kid, that like my mom or grandparents had given me. And I mourned the loss of that Anaheim Mighty Ducks purple ornament that my grandma gave me when I was like 6, and I was the biggest Mighty Ducks fan because of the movies. Yeah. And I had a vintage like Canucks one that was bright yellow with the old skate logo and a few others. And I'm like so sad that I don't have those anymore. And I think about it like throughout the year at different times when I think about that situation. So it's a lot of it is the nostalgia for me. And
my number one favorite Christmas decoration are the Noel candles. The big, like 3-foot high plastic red candle, yellow top, says Noel on it. I pine for them every year. Mm-hmm. And I'm not allowed to put them up. I don't own any, but I just look forward to the day when I get to have, I just want to put them on either side of the door. Yeah. To welcome people into our home by way of Christmas.
Yes.
But I'm not allowed, it'll be a long time before I'm able to do that.
I miss now we have the LED lights, which are good because they last a long time, but I miss the old incandescent lights that were just, I don't know, they had a quality to them and like a warmth, and I don't know.
I'll tell you what I think about LEDs. They're hot garbage.
Yeah,
I don't like them.
I'm not a huge fan of them.
And they don't last that long.
You don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice. I still will go and find the old incandescent ones. Yeah. Because the LED ones burn with this light that is from the pit. I'm just kidding. I don't like how they look, and the way they make my brain feel just makes me hurt. And they don't last as long. Like everyone says that they do, but they end up, I don't think, not buying what they're selling. So Trevor, growing up on Christmas Day, would you guys always go to church?
If it was a Sunday.
Yeah.
That was, very grudgingly, I would say. Everyone except for my dad, I think, wanted to stay home. My dad was always the one no, I really want to go to church. So we would all go to church on Sunday if it was Christmas. But I mean, I don't know. I want to stay home on a Christmas day. I don't really want to, even for church. Maybe that's bad to say, but I don't really want to go. It's just it's a day. And, you know, to add one more thing, sounds so bad, to add one more thing to do, like drag now, especially as a parent, maybe like bringing your kids, getting them ready. I mean, yours are older than mine. That must be tough when it's on a Sunday.
Well, they don't want to go.
Yeah.
So it's, some Anglican churches do Christmas church on Christmas Day. They'll do a Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. We just do Christmas Eve. I think this year it's a 4 p.m. service. I think it's a 4 p.m. start. Sometimes I would like it if they pushed it a bit later, but when you have, like, I have a 20-month-old, so she's not going to be into the midnight service. But it's nice to just go to church on Christmas Eve and then kind of have Christmas a little bit freer to relax. I mean, well, I say relax. We have my parents, my sibling, her husband, their child, producer Paul Melissa, by the way, and then my wife's parents live here, and she has siblings and they have spouses. So like Christmas Day is like there's still a schedule. We're just like, get up, open presents, go for brunch, go for find lunch, go for dinner. Like, it's a busy day anyways. Yeah. And I think your guys are in a bit of a similar situation. Yeah. So it's just busy of a different kind. But I remember when we would go for Christmas to my grandma's house in Manitoba, and she went to this old German Baptist church, and they had church on Christmas Day at like 10 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And when we went to Nan Schroeder's for Christmas, we were going to church. There was no discussion. Yeah. And that was always a very off-putting experience. Mm-hmm. But it was good too. But I really enjoy kind of the way that we do church on Christmas, or in the Christmas season at St. Matthew's, where it's a fairly low-key service, great songs, candles, the Eucharist, all those things.
Get the whole nativity story and the creche with all the animals and the kids, if you have kids, get involved with that.
I think one of the kind of peak moments in our services is that during Advent, we don't sing a lot of Christmas carols. It's not the Christmas season yet, and so you kind of, you dribble in some here and there because they're great. But it's really at the Christmas Eve service when you kind of unleash the power of the Christmas carol, because the season has arrived.
Yeah, I would say the dabbling that we do leading up to Christmas in terms of the carols are really any of the ones that speak to the coming of Jesus, like O Come, Emmanuel. Yeah. Or a couple of those other that are in a similar vein.
But it's at the Christmas Eve service you get a little bit more payoff in terms of those types of songs.
Okay, so now is the time where we share our top 10 Christmas movies with the world.
Get ready.
Yeah. So we're going to start at 10 and make our way to 1.
Worst to first.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, Tyler, what's your 10th?
My 10th. I guess worst is a little harsh because it's still the top 10.
Still top 10.
Yeah. Number 10, Little Women.
The new one or like the
1994.
Okay.
I hate to say it, but the new one stinks. Personal opinion. The 1994 one is pure.
I don't know that I've seen the 1994 one, but I saw the newer one in theaters when it came out. Mm-hmm. I thought it was good, but to each their own.
You should watch 1994.
Okay. Number 10, Polar Express.
Ooh.
With Tom Hanks.
Nice. How do you feel about the two lifelike?
Yeah, what's the term for that when
the uncanny valley.
Uncanny valley. Yeah, it is creepy, and my wife has a real problem with it. Like, she can't watch that one, but I like the story of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we had the book, like the picture book, when I was a kid growing up.
Number 9, Miracle on 34th Street, 1994.
Yes.
Although the original also great.
Yeah, that is a really good one. That's gonna probably be a little higher on my list. Number 9. This is gonna be a little niche. When I was a kid, one of the ones I really liked to watch was Winnie the Pooh Christmas.
It's not expected.
No, I know. So I really that's my number 9. I don't know if it's called Winnie the Pooh Christmas, but it was a Winnie the Pooh Christmas movie.
Winnie the Pooh and Christmas 2.
Sure, let's probably that one.
How is 2 spelled?
T-O-O.
Yeah, Rabbit gets a gift that is how Rabbit is. Rabbit's a bit obnoxious and hard to please, melodramatic, and has to learn the value of it's the thought that counts.
Right.
And, it's just a good one. Warms my heart when I watch that one.
Nice.
Yep.
Number 8, The Little Drummer Boy, claymation.
I have seen that. Yes.
Yeah. That's my number 8.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but that soundtrack, it rips. It's awesome.
Yeah. For me, number 8 would have to be a Mickey Mouse Christmas. So staying on the Disney theme here.
Okay.
Love the Disney.
I need our listeners to know Trevor is doing this on the fly.
No, this is all.
He's just he's pure of heart. He can really do this, so everyone needs to know that.
I have thought about this. I have a list that I go through every year. Yeah, so Mickey Mouse Christmas. So this one includes the Christmas Carol retelling, like the Dickens one.
Yeah.
With old Bob Cratchit, played by Goofy. So good.
Played by Goofy.
Yeah.
Goofy's not real.
And then it also has in that one the one where Mickey and Pluto go to chop down the Christmas tree and the chipmunks are hiding in it. It's classic. And the animation in the old Disney is just so good. Like the hand drawn, I love it for that.
Yeah.
The art in it. It's so good. I think that's what it really is for me.
The Christmas tree one. That's great.
Yeah.
Agreed. Number 7, The Santa Claus.
Yes.
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen is so good.
A little unfortunate that they did 2 others.
Yeah.
And a show. Really unfortunate.
Didn't know about the show.
The second one was okay. I mean, Tim Allen's in a bit of a tough spot these days, so I feel bad for him. Second one was okay. The third one was that the one with Martin Short.
Yes.
Yeah, like Frosty or something.
Yeah, Mr. Frost or Jack Frost. But yeah, the first one was good, solid. We'll watch probably until I die.
My number 7 will be Miracle on 34th Street.
Excellent.
I like the courtroom climax at the end when the judge makes the ridiculous ruling on Santa Claus because the bill says "In God We Trust." It's a flawless argument.
Leave it to the judge. Leave it to the American judicial system.
Yeah. But a good scene.
Number 6, Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Oh yeah.
The old claymation Burgermeister Meisterburger.
Yeah. It's got great songs in that movie.
Everything about it is it's a pure form of nostalgia. Good Christmas Story.
That's the one when I really want to get in the Christmas spirit. I'll put that one on.
Yeah.
Number 6, I also really loved the Santa Claus. I remember when that came out when I was young.
Yeah.
Watching that a lot. And I thought the whole story for it of the origins of, or how Santa Claus gets passed on and all of the lore they created for how he can get down the chimney in an apartment building or a row home was so cool. So that's going to be my number 6. And I was a big fan of Home Improvement when I was young. So, Tim Allen. Yeah.
And when you watch that movie now, the strange quality of the visual effects are very satisfying. They don't They don't make them like that anymore.
I think that movie's 30 years old now. I think it came out in 94.
Not good.
Yeah.
Number 5, Home Alone.
Which one? The first one?
First one.
Okay.
Home Alone 2 was good. Not as good as the first one, but good. After number 2, they lost their way, unfortunately, because they lost Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
But Home Alone 1 is solid. We'll watch forever.
See, I actually, I don't know that saying I disagree with you is quite accurate, but I sort of disagree with you. I actually grew up watching Home Alone 2 Lost in New York because we had it on videotape.
Right.
In our house. I had not seen the first one until I was like maybe 20.
Really?
But I had grown up from a young age watching Home Alone 2. So I have a much softer place in my heart for Home Alone 2. That said, Home Alone 1 is really good. And it is superior. I agree.
And Home Alone 2, like, I'll watch both.
Yeah. The gags are just great. I love Marv and Harry. So good.
It's perfect.
The staple gun in the door. So good. So that was number 5.
Number 5.
Okay. So number 5. This is going to get tough now. A Christmas Story.
Yes.
This is one I didn't watch till I was probably in high school for the first time. And it's one it's just a great movie. It's so good. And there's so many like quotable things from it.
Yeah.
Red Ryder BB gun.
Leg lamp.
You'll take an eye out with that thing. Yeah, the leg lamp.
Shoot your eye out,
Yeah,
kid.
yeah. Kicking them down the slide. And I love the fact that little Ralphie plays a big elf in Elf. Did you know that? In Elf, the Will Ferrell movie, whoever the actors that plays Ralphie plays the elf that's in charge of like the workshop. Yeah. Isn't that awesome?
I didn't know that.
So yeah.
Like at the North Pole.
It's at the North Pole, yes.
With Papa Elf.
No, not Papa Elf.
With Papa Elf.
Yes, with Papa Elf, yes. So yeah, A Christmas Story. Good one.
Story. Number 4. I think it's Jim Carrey Grinch.
Oh, I love Jim Carrey Grinch.
Jim Carrey Grinch. It's funny. It's full of soul. The music's great. Everything about it slaps.
Yeah. Okay, number 4. I'm gonna throw in Mr. Bean Christmas episode. It's just so good. Like all of the Mr. Bean is amazing. I know it's like 30, 40 years old now.
Matter.
It's timeless.
Doesn't matter.
The turkey on the head, the losing his watch, and it's in his mouth when he takes it off. The ring.
Everything.
The little stocking for the mouse in his house.
And there's a nostalgia element to that. It is also just excellent British
comedy.
Non-verbal comedy.
Yeah.
But it's also, I remember like, going to my grandparents' house. They only had 2 channels.
Mm-hmm.
We were living in Newfoundland, so it was NTV, which is Newfoundland Television, and CBC.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Christmas time. There was nothing else on.
Yeah.
And Mr. Bean would be on.
Yeah.
And it was redemptive.
They're all on Amazon Prime if you have it.
Oh, are they?
Mm-hmm.
Good to know.
Yeah.
And there's not very many of them.
No, it's like 1 or 2 seasons.
There's like 1 or 2 seasons. But the way that you watch them, especially when I was a kid, you felt like there was so many of them.
Because you would never know when they were going to be on. You would just turn on the TV. I did the same thing. Turn on the TV at grandma's house.
It's on.
And it's on a Sunday.
No one knows when they come on.
Yeah.
It's like winning the lottery.
Yeah.
But there's only like, I don't know, maybe
there's 10 episodes.
12
It's not very many.
Like yeah.
Yeah.
Number
Top 3 now? Okay.
Top 3.
Ooh.
Elf. Might be just a regular, like, great movie outside of Christmas as well.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to also say Elf, number 3. Agreed.
Solid.
Lots of quotable lines from that one too.
Number 2, the original How the Grinch Stole Christmas cartoon. Great music, great animation, timeless values.
Number 2 for me is Santa Claus is Coming to Town. That was here earlier. For many of the same reasons you said. That's the one that, though, puts me in the Christmas spirit.
Yeah.
I, as a kid, thought, oh, what a great explanation for Santa Claus. This all makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Oh, magical corn.
Yeah.
That's what makes the reindeers fly.
Yeah. And it was all airtight. And still is.
It still is.
And also, I think, like, there's some good values that they sneak in there too.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty pure of heart.
Yes. And I just love, as you mentioned, that animation and the songs in that movie are so memorable. I think about that walking one regularly. Put one foot in front of the other one, or one foot in front of the other. That song regularly comes into my head. I don't know why, but it does. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Number one. My number 1 is A Christmas Story. It's my favorite Christmas movie. I remember watching it on TBS when we had 33 channels. And it was just always my favorite Christmas movie. Since I was like, I don't know, 11 or 12 or something like that. Not great values. Not a great soundtrack. The cinematography is a little dark sometimes. but the whole premise of this kid wanting this BB gun and all the adults saying no, and then of course the dad comes through as dads hopefully always do, and gets it for him, knowing that it will bring him pure joy. It's just, and the boys' fantasies about it, I think it's perfect.
My dad has some strong feelings and thoughts about elements of that movie that make it memorable for me. Every time he sees it, he'll comment on the mom and be like, "That is not a 40s hairstyle. Woman would not have that kind of curly hair. That's like a 70s haircut or whatever." Hilarious. He thinks the dogs eating the turkey dinner is just hilarious. And he dies of laughter on the quite racially insensitive part when they're eating Chinese food on Christmas Day and the waiters are singing. Yeah.
I know. It's not funny. Stop. It's not funny.
Yeah.
I know. It's
funny to me to like, he just dies because he's a 70-year-old man.
Yeah.
And it is funny in a bad way, to be honest.
I mean, anyways, we're going to move on from that.
Yeah. Anyways.
But yes, great movie.
Yeah. Such a good
there are going to be some, on my list, honorable mentions for Mr. Bean Christmas, as well as the Festivus episode from Seinfeld. Not a movie, but a timeless Christmas-themed episode. And then the Christmas episodes from The Office and from Parks and Rec.
My number 1 will be Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. It's so funny. It's even funnier as an adult because there's so much adult humor in it.
It is. Yes.
It's actually not made for kids. It's my hot take about that movie. It's for the adults who have to watch it with their kids.
Yeah.
Because there's some great lines. And then honorable mentions, the Office Christmas episodes are great. The gift exchange where Michael buys the iPod is just classic. Like, I
honestly think about that every time someone in the office, my office, talks about a gift exchange. Yeah. I think about someone buying an iPod. Obviously now it wouldn't be an iPod anymore, but the functional equivalent of one.
Yeah.
And just cracks me up.
And then the original Grinch is great too. Lots of good memories with that one. And I don't know how we have made it through our top 10 list and no one has mentioned Die Hard. Is it a Christmas movie or not? It takes place at Christmas.
Let me tell you something. I have never seen Die Hard.
You got to watch it.
I've never seen it.
Okay.
So I have no opinion on whether it's a Christmas movie or not, but it seems like it shouldn't be.
It's a great movie. I don't care whether or not it's a Christmas movie. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter to me.
It's identified with the Christmas season.
It is. Yes. And I'll probably watch it at some point between now and Christmas because now we've talked about it. But. And I mentioned in the last episode, Harry Potter. That's one we watch.
Harry Potter, yeah.
There's always good Christmas scenes in those books and in the movies. So yeah, that was fun. Well, Tyler, that was a lot of fun going through our top 10s.
It was great.
Talking about some of our traditions, reliving some of the nostalgic parts of our childhood.
Yeah.
And it's hard to believe that it's been a year that we've been doing this now. This is our 11th episode.
11th episode.
And it's been a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And we're so thankful for everyone that listens and watches as we do this and as we talk and as we have fun like we did today. But as we do most of the time, you know, we focus a little bit more on the Anglican tradition and how that kind of impacts our lens and how we see things and approach things. But this was fun.
It's not always fun and games on the Pray Tell podcast.
Yeah. So thank you for, you know, all the work you've done on this in the past year and
oh yes.
And all the time you've put into it. So it's been a lot of fun doing this.
Yeah, it's been great. It's nice to have a buddy to do this with.
Yeah.
And you've been very able-bodied partners. So thanks for that.
And thanks to Paul and Melissa for doing all the work behind the scenes.
And thank to you, listeners, for engaging with us, commenting, liking, subscribing. We appreciate all the feedback we get and look forward to another 11 episodes of talking about our Anglican tradition and our faith and how it shapes us and how we live it out into the world. Make sure you comment below if you're planning on including any Christmas pickles in your family traditions this year. And maybe more importantly, take pictures. And do we have an Instagram page? Not Pray Tell, but St. Matthew's has an Instagram. So take pictures and
we'll make sure they're seen.
Take St. Matthew's. They will be seen. We would love that. And remember to tune in next week when we talk about the 12 days of Christmas. And remember to head out to St. Matthew's for when this goes out. There should be at least one more Advent Sunday. So 10 a.m. at St. Matthew's, 2010 Guilford Drive. And then our Christmas Eve service is December 24th at 4 p.m. Check the website to confirm that. I think that's the time. So we hopefully we'll see you out for that and start the season off then.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Bye.